Welcome back. Thanks for participating in my trade review for Wednesday, the 18th. Yeah, that was yesterday. Today's Juneteenth. It's a holiday. No trading. And the 19th. So we're doing this review a day late. So we forgot, like any other trader, everything we did yesterday. I don't know what that was because that's today, but and it's the end of the day too. But we'll go through everything again, and it's great for me to refresh myself and for everyone else to just you know um, get that review as well, and maybe learn a thing or two along the way. I don't know, probably not. But most importantly, just holding myself accountable, right, to the review. And if I don't do a video, it's just so easy not to do. It's just like working out as well, right? Something like this. It's like the compounding effect of it. But anyways, daily oil theme still continuing with the tension in the Middle East. Morning watch list. We have PTLE had a 6K from the night before here. That was in our after hours watch list. That's going to transfer into our morning watch list as it continued to have volume. We'll pull it up just to show you this. Right here was on our nightly watch list. Right, we seen it had volume and was holding trend and really good strength into close, and that's kind of the telltale sign that this thing's going to explode. And it does, right? It gaps up in the morning, comes back down, tests trend, holds, then really tests trend on VWAP in the 200 here, but it's strong. It's not even breaking through and reclaiming, so more expansion, and then ultimately sell off. And this is kind of the story of things. Something that runs after hours in pre-market is totally independent to regular trading hours, right? It decouples, and lots of the times, if something is running so hot, a lot of the regular trades that take place, maybe institution-wise, you're scaling out. All these people are in, 20 cents, maybe even 26 cents. Why wouldn't they be selling, at 50 cents all the way even down to 34 cents? Of course, this is all profit taking here, right? And then, of course, strength decays. We'll see if buyers step in again tomorrow, though. This is going to remain on watch. It could be a day 3, right? Like day 1, we have a nice move up, and maybe day 2, some consolidation, and day 3 it can go. As all things, we're going to continue to watch it, but really nice move here. Like, what is that percentage-wise if you were to overnight this? 130%, just casually. We didn't participate in it. It was a holiday the following day today, so trying to treat it like a Friday, being a little bit more conservative in our plays. We also had GURE. No news here, just small cap high, relative volume. Just really shredding in the morning, right? But breaks down, can't reclaim, and, well, just short-lived, but kind of like a decent reversal off the morning pullback here, reclaiming the 200 as a key level. It's just the volume is so low. There's no volume here like there was in the morning, right? So that's not great, but the fact that it melted up on low volume, I think, is super strong after hours, retesting the 200 and then finishing crazy strong, right? So I don't know. We're going to keep it on watch, see how it pans out tomorrow. I mean, this is oil theme, right? Obviously, Gulf Resources. Small market cap, right? Was pretty good volume. And this is probably just day traders trying to preload the next hot oil play, right? And then pass it on social media. It's whatever, but that's why the sell-off is so aggressive, right? So you got to be careful about a lot of these things, right? If there's a theme, try to play the runner or the main sympathy. Don't go down the rabbit hole of, oh, what's the next one? What's the next one, right? But the fact that it recovered like this is really nice, and maybe the hiccup here is enough to kind of ignite more of a real move in the coming days here. LSE up next on our morning watch list. Same thing here. We see the after hours movement. I think it might have even been, that's on our after hours watch list from the day before. So we see a 13G insider buying. Here, it's released, kind of sells off, but just immediately in the morning, it's going. And this is actually nice too, because it's not an immediate gap up, so you could get in on it. There's a reversal. nice play up, and holds a 200, right? That's really cool that it holds a 200 here, and you get another try at VWAP, and this part right here, super key, where it holds. This part's super sketchy, right? You're like, well, it held here, it broke down here, we're done. But the 200 held. And you got another shot at it, but you do get like a bit of a kill candle here. So this is a massive upper wick rejection where there's no buyers in this area. And you can see these are to a certain extent that as well, but not like that. Like this is massive, right? Like what percentage is just the wick here? That's a 10% wick rejection. That's big. So that's what we call a kill candle, and it's going to be basically history from there as people see that and they start to take their profits, right? It's basically a double top with good liquidity, right? But no support. There's no support there with any buyers. Will we see this continue? Maybe, because kind of had that movement, pulled back, movement again, pulled back, like higher lows, right, on the 1 day kind of. So I don't know. We'll see. As soon as something is resolved in the Middle East, all of these oil names are just going to go to oblivion. So I mean, don't get caught holding the bag on those. You don't want that. HSDT up next here. Doing a little bit here in the morning. Failing to grab VWAP here. We were trying to set up a trade on that, but we couldn't get VWAP like we wanted. Tried again here, but it just can't hold it. But trade sideways all day. So we're going to kind of wait and see how this pans out for us in the coming days, right? Because it's good volume, and hopefully, we can see these levels break up, right? BDRX. This had a claim authorization by CignaHealth, whatever that's good for. A lot of the news sometimes we don't necessarily understand, and that's where Stock Titan is great. It can give you a positive and a negative to help you understand the specific news. BDRX, however, though, has type 1 diabetes enrollment of a phase 2A study. 2A is not 2B and definitely not 3, and enrollment is not results, right? But off that news, and I think someone knew about this beforehand, but it sold off, and then when the news hit, it just exploded, right? So this is something you could scalp if you were really quick, right? Because this first bar is no volume at all, and the news would have hit here, at 82 cents, and you could have gotten in under $1, and then, just the rest is history, up to $1.80 in the next minute. But the news pops often are, quite explosive, and because of such, they're going to retrace, right? Because should it be really up, 100 and whatever % in a minute? No, nothing should be. Can it be up a couple % on the day? Absolutely, right? And pre-market, you also are victim to potential volume rotation, which isn't great. And the pharmaceuticals they're just not on theme right now, right? That's why we track the daily theme, which is oil. So this doesn't really pan out for us. And then we had the APVO, which we actually did take a trade on in the morning as well as in the afternoon. Shows remarkable 85% remission in Frontline AML. And then TPET as well. No news, oil name, micro cap kind of moving. But, this is the thing about small market caps is they can go up really fast and they can go down just as fast, right? And, this is a sympathy of a sympathy of a sympathy for an oil name. People are just hunting out any low float, low market cap oil ticker because of the conflict, right? And hoping to get rich. And, sometimes you can get it on the scanner and pop up, like, maybe if you've got a big social media presence that you can pump it to, and the pump's big enough that it hits other people's volume scanner like it did here. But even then, it's just profit taking and it dies. So stick to the main plays, like Husa Indo, for example. So our morning trades, we did have a failed play here, I think on HSDT, right? So this was a bit of a bummer in the morning, was it? Yeah. Didn't pan out for us. I was a little bit greedy here, trying to play this reversal signal, but it doesn't get to where we want to go. So, how could we have done this trade better? Well, obviously, it's the reversal signal paired with a key level breakout. Yes. Also, just tighten it up. Why is your stop so low under the swing low here? Why can't we tighten it up to be at this reversal signal, right? And then that brings our take profit down. Okay, but as we see, our entry's still suboptimal. We don't get the trade that we want. What if we had better entry, right? What if we picked it up on, and there's plenty of candles where we could have picked it up here, right? Then where does that take us to? That takes us to a profitable trade position, but we had a bad entry. We had a wide stop loss. And because of this, our take profit was wider, right? If we go back to where it originally was. Because of this, we're not taking profits here yet, and we do end up getting toasted, right? We don't like this at all. This is just it's terrible, right? And this is the name of the game. Actually, my original was down here. Was this a profitable trade? I forgot all about this. We might still be in this. I'll have to check my main account. Like I said, this was yesterday. In the morning, I forgot all about this, but I don't think our stop loss is hit here. Because we always wait for a candle to close below, right? So you don't get hit in one of these liquidity grabs. Make sure, and just like when we're taking breakouts, and we've explained this many times, that you wait for that candle to open and close above, right? Or below in this case. We might actually still be in this trade. This seems fine to me, unless we were scaling out here, which I would have it marked if we did. So I think this is probably just an open trade, or we got stopped out prematurely, which would suck. But sometimes that's part of the game too, right? I think I totally just forgot about it is the thing, because I don't have it in my morning trades even, which is crazy. Anyways, let's review it and talk about how we could have done it better. Always, of course, right? APVO. And furthermore, the wider stop loss, where it's below the swing low here, would be more appropriate, because before I was like, well, let's tighten it up. That would actually be suboptimal, because we would have got stopped out for sure here, right? If our stop is, below that reversal, it just wants to gap up. Then we're getting stopped out here, because these candles are opening below and closing below. And that's our criteria. Even here is a little sketchy for sure. So we'd be stopping out here if it was a tight. So at the swing low, let's file that upstairs. Remember that, right? As to where we want to file or set these stop losses off those reversal signals, right? End of the day, we should have waited for a VWAP reclaim. But it is what it is. We'll see. Moving forward. APVO. So we did this in the morning, which was pretty nice. I think it was just off the news, right? So we have the news pop, and we like when it retraces, reclaims, and runs. We were a little late to it. But it breaks down, reclaims, and holds. Like this is obviously holding. It's the wicks are on both sides of the candle, right? So a lot of trading volume being processed. Just put your stop under the swing of the breakdown here, right, before it goes up. And, we get a 1-to-1 on this, which is really nice. Scale out here, breaks down, right? So the importance of scaling out at a 1-to-1 for me is, hit home even harder when something like this happens, right? So I'll always be scaling and protecting those profits, because we would not be in this trade, right? Because this opens below, closes below, like this is bad. And even though it does reverse in the morning, we would have got kicked out here. But speaking of reversing in the morning, we did take this in our daily trades as well. But we'll go through our daily watch list first. MTR. No news, low float, small market cap, high relative volume. In the morning, it had its reversal signal, and it kind of did have some activity last night, and then in the morning, pullback. Its reversal, 200 as its key level, even breaks VWAP for an expansion up, but it's just not great volume is the thing. And then does break down after hours. I just don't think it's got what it takes. No news, no catalyst. We don't really like that. APVO, we talked about that, right? How we traded this in the day, but they did have an offering, right? So they had this great news in the morning, right? And it was trending up hard, but then they had an offering, right? So they're selling shares, and it's just gaps down, right? And again, the importance of taking those profits. So this is how we traded it in the morning. And this was I think one of our best trades of the day. We see that it's reclaimed VWAP and holding, right? 200 is strong, so we can take entry. Stop loss below the most recent swing. And there's our 1-to-1. We get a 2-to-1 as well. And reach for a 3-to-1, but we don't get it before the offering hits, unfortunately. And again, that's why we're, taking that 75, 80% out, taking another 5% out, right? And then, you're only left with maybe 15%, and you just cut it. You just cut it as it starts to go down. MRIN. No news, but this has a high cost to borrow. It might even be off a 52-week low here. Well, no, not quite. But last time it did, we got to move. Let's look at the 1 day here. I'm curious. Why is this moving like this? It's finding it's got some room, it moves, right? But the 200, if you can't clear the 200 on this, you're not going anywhere, right? And not just in the day go up and close below, but open and close we always talk about below, above it, right? And maybe we even just reach up to this buy side liquidity / order block, coinciding levels here. So I mean that's a room for me. Let's keep this on the watch list and see how it does. Rejecting off the 200, right? Rejecting off the 200. But it can reach up to what was that? The order block, right? Buy side liquidity. We'll see. High cost to borrow means it's probably got a high short interest too, right? So RYDE. Up next, acquires 40% stake in Atoll. Acquisition news is kind of tricky sometimes. The way that equities handed out to shareholders within the two companies. The terms are not always clearly disclosed, I guess. I didn't get into it. I'm not entirely certain. Again, it was yesterday, and it's been a long day today as well. But looks good. Technically, the news pop holds VWAP and then expands out, right? So, if you don't get in on this news, right? Which I get it. It's scary. The news could sell off, right? But you see it hold VWAP this whole time, right? Never really breaking down. And you could enter really here on this green candle. I like that. But even on these two candles after this move up is really good. This could just be a breakout play, right? Entries, even anywhere in this candle, super acceptable. Above, wait for it to close above, which would be this red candle. Open and close above this breakout line. And you still get a decent play out of that, right? If you were to play this and responsibly play it, right? You get your long in here, your stop is there, and your take profit is actually hate the auto snap. So that's easy. Like that's an easy one-to-one trade. Even if you didn't get a good entry, let's say you got mid candle, you know, you're still able to get out at 1-to-1 plus, right, off that breakout play. So that's how you could play it if you didn't get in on the VWAP hold here. You know, obviously this is the same as when it breaks down and reclaims and holds. You know, get in anywhere here, your stop loss would be underneath this candle, right? That breakdown and pop-up candle. And then this trade would just be ungodly, right? And even if you didn't get in optimally, you know, maybe you got in on this red candle, right? After the pop-up, you're like, okay, this is going somewhere. On this consolidation would have been ideal, though. That would have been far superior, obviously, as you can see. Anyways, just nothing we took, but like how would we trade it if we did take it? And I think, you know, that would have been the best way. This is a little bit riskier on the VWAP, but we have predefined risks, so that doesn't really matter too much. And the news is pretty good, right? So you'd feel more confident taking the VWAP consolidation than on maybe more fluff news, right? KWE, which I think has been going for a couple days or something, right? This received an order for prototypes of its next generation battlefield laser detection system. Lasers, Linda. And it was strong, right? You know, News Pop breaks down and goes. Like it took a little bit for it to catch on. And like it wasn't really certain too. Like this is a crazy candle here. Like a lot of rejection when it tried to go. But just like really strong into open, right? We start to expand away from VWAP. We have a reversal with our key level breakout of the 200 here, really. It even gaps up in the morning, and you have that gap fill strategy where you enter inside the gap with a stop loss below. So that's how I'd play this. If we missed the news, right, didn't want to chase it, which you shouldn't, this is a setup that we're easily taking, right? Our stop is anywhere inside the gap. Stop loss is below it. And then our 1-to-1 is easy. It can't even go that low, right? There you go. So that's easy trade, right? Just on that wick in, you could get out. Pushing that to like a 5-to-1 here, right? On that, even if you just take it conservatively at the top, 5.5-to-1. Really easy trade here to take on that, the gap fill. And then once it breaks down, well, it's not really breaking down though. It's holding, right? So this is, you could take it in on this gap again at any point with a stop loss below, just like we did here. It would be below here at this point, right? It'd be a little bit wider under the sell side. Another nice run. You get a second shot at it. But then it does break down in and then finally through. So we don't want to play this gap really until it can break above. And it tried to. It almost did. So we'll see how this pans out tomorrow, right? Because it's definitely got some room to move from 6 to 15 quite quickly. What do we have next? SPY. Oh man, I traded SPY like a dum-dum. It was a successful trade, but it shouldn't have been because I disrespected myself. But that's, you know, we're going to talk about it. I'm not always a good trader, so I didn't realize it was Wednesday. I thought it was Thursday because the market was closed the next day. LOL. So it was FOMC. We have interest rate decision, and J Powell doing his thing. Market was up in the morning, right? We gapped up, which was pretty cool. So that shows strength. Filled that gap in the morning. And then super strength, right? Which was hella bullish. But then we see a downtrend form and a break of VWAP. So I'm looking to go short on the SPY at a retest of VWAP. And I think we were actually on the 5-minute at the time. And we wanted to use the retest of the 200, I thought. Here? I don't know why my trade thing doesn't show up on the 5-minute. That's crazy, right? Oh, I'm on the wrong day. I'm on the wrong day. LOL. So I was trying to, we see it break down here, and I wanted to go short on the retest of the 200 for a rejection. But then I guess JPOW had to do his thing, and that just it instills mass market volatility, right? And it was gross, but we did stay in the trade through some really hurtful swings. But we don't have that candle close and open below at any point. Should we stop this trade out? It was just super painful. We want that candle, if we're going to stop out, to open above and close above. Just like when we're taking, profits you can take anytime it clears it, but that open, if this was our stop loss on a long trade, you'd want it to open below and close below, right? But it did pay off, right? It did pay off. It was pretty sketchy as we cleared this, like especially on the 1 minute. On the 5 minute, looks like a good trade. We can justify staying in it. And we did enter the trade on the 5 minute, which is great. But on the 1 minute, look how sketchy this was, right? This is where we're entering it. This is the 5 minute on the 5 minute 200, the green line here. So that's where we're entering our trade, and it immediately breaks through VWAP, but does break down. So we're like, okay, it's a downtrend, right? We have that downtrend, so that's fine. But then it's like, okay, Fed meeting, let's go. And just like the volatility each way is crazy. Just up, down, back up, down, way up again, and then finally, we do get the realized move, but along that journey, which is linear, you get these massive waves, literally every Wednesday during the interest rate decision, which is great, or once a month for, which Wednesday is it? I don't know if it's a specific day of the month. Eight times a year, every 6 to 8 weeks. Always on a Wednesday, though. Next meeting will be on July 29th and 30th. There you go. The more you know. So yeah, that was a pretty sketchy trade. On the 5 minute, it doesn't look so bad. But on the 1 minute, so like you would have got stopped out on the 1 minute if you were playing this correctly. Like this candle opens and closes above this red candle here. So does this green, red. Like, man, there's so many candles opening and closing above here, which is brutal. But on the 5 minute, it's a little bit smoother. So you can justify it, which is great for a review, right? Because I was thinking how bad of a trade this was, even though it turned out green for us. But when you look at it on that 5 minute, it's easy to see why it turned out green, because it was an appropriate trade, right? Maybe a little suboptimal entry, but what do you do? We also loaded some GameStop calls on the news that they their zero coupon debt that they raised of $3.75 billion in a 3-month period is a record for all U.S. convertible issuers, and they have the most done this year. Obviously, if it's a record, so that's pretty crazy news. And we see that that last bond offering hit pretty aggressively, right? Crushing us down from 28, even the 30 mark here, all the way to 2150. Maybe I have it up here. I even labeled it as being the lowest GameStop will ever go again. Here we go. We could probably do 1 hour. Yeah, this is the lowest GME will ever be again. And we can, Maybe in the 5 minutes we can see it. Oh, I've even got an arrow. I've even got an arrow. Look how it was trading, though. Look how it was trading. We had good volume, pretty good volume here. Decent volume and just ticking sideways, right? And then the expansion off that. The rest is history. Double bottom, definitely go long here. But anyways, you don't really know how things are going to unfold. We may even still get a retest of this double bottom in the coming days, right? Tomorrow, Monday, if there's any bad market news, right? Which we will talk about SPY in the longer term here in a minute too. But I'm going longer with some Octobers, 20 to 25 calls, right? Get them in the money if you can afford. If not, definitely don't go above $25, right? You don't want to be buying 30s or anything. But keep it close. Keep it close. Even if you're buying 23s, that's really cool. 22s is even better. I know obviously not everyone's going to be affording those 20s, which would be optimal, but just don't go above 25, right? And after hours, we had a bit of a watch list, I guess, as well. SONM, which was on the watch list the day before. This had some movement. There was like a buyout offer at $3.60 a share, and they said, no, our company's worth more than that. And then after hours here, there was like a letter of intent for another buyout or something. So, some continued interest. Looks like maybe a hostile takeover. We'll see how this pans out in the future. Just eyes on it. And then PCSA looks really good. We talk about how things show strength after hours and end strong. Bet you bottom dollar we get a gap up on this tomorrow. But don't worry, I'll be back to brag about it in our next video. Let's take a look at SPY on the longer time frame, though. We mentioned how we probably are sitting at a double top here, right? I don't know. We need 593 to hold. If not, definitely looking, that 580 mark and 581. Things get really bad, 570, which, I'd be going long at, World War hits, probably break it. We're probably going underneath this, for stop dropping bombs like that. So I don't know. It's primed for a retracement to begin with, without any geopolitical pressure. So anything to set this market downwards, it will take that downwards move, because it wants it. It wants to get into this gap, right? We've got this gap on the 1 day here, which we did kind of enter, but we want to fill it. And look where the 200 is. Oh, it's perfect fill territory, right? So just be prepared for maybe some potential down days and weeks. But I don't think that's the end of the world, because we're not really going down that much, right? 590, 600 to 570. So a little bit. And then I think, things do look strong into the future. But like I said, you never know. Things could get pretty grim, and we'll reassess. We're going to reassess day by day. But for now, things are looking pretty good. They should retrace, so don't be surprised. If we break the downtrend, then we're going. If we're going to break this downtrend, then whatever. Let's not retest and just go. That's fine too. But I definitely see something down here. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon in the next. Take care.